Hey YouTube, it's me, Helping Hearts 888. Andrea here today with another video. I'm not sure what day it is, but that's besides the point. Today is kind of going to be like a story time. It's something that I've felt like I wanted to talk about for a little while now. And it's talking about sexual abuse in your home. And I'm going to do a little story time because I had an experience when I was younger. I was raised with my grandma. And it was me and my three little cousins. I was the middle one. And then I had my younger cousin and I had my older cousin. She eventually ran away, so it was just me and my younger cousin. And eventually living with my grandma, we had an uncle come and live with us. And this was our favorite uncle. As a child, there's a lot of things that you don't know. You're innocent. You don't know what's going on. But my grandma did teach us a lot of things. Even though she had her bad ways, she did teach us a lot of things. And I'm thankful for some of the things that she did teach us because it led me to tell her something that was innocent to me, but it was going to be a bigger situation. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it. But as a child, we experienced a lot of different circumstances and situations. And we had this uncle that lived with us. He was our favorite uncle. We were kids. He would give us money. And as a child, hey, But our uncle would give us money, and I noticed that my uncle would give me a little bit more money than he would give to my younger cousin. My uncle would have us get beers that he would place into the refrigerator, and he would give us $5, $10 to just go get the beers. I noticed that my uncle would bring us the kids' little heart-shaped makeup sets, and he would buy us little pretty dresses and things like that. Well, my grandmother always taught us that no one is to touch in between our legs or up here or anything but her if she was washing us and things like that. So this uncle, as I said, would give us money and things like that. Well, sometimes he would have us sit on his lap. And that's a little bit later because I want to discuss the getting the beers out of the refrigerator. As a child, I didn't know any better, but he would have us put these dresses on and put the little makeup on. Now, my grandma was at work. She worked from 12 to 8 at the university that we had. She was a front desk lady. So she would leave us with him. Well, we would get these beers out of the fridge and he would give us money. And sometimes we would play with our dolls at our table. Well, our table would have our 4 little chairs, and it would be me and my little cousin. And he would come and he would take the clothes off of our Barbie dolls and he would rub them together. He would rub our Barbie dolls together. We're kids, It wasn't until he had us sit on his lap, and it would start with his hand right here, kind of like I'm holding my son. And he would have his hand right here, and it was slowly, and I would grab it and move it, and he would just sit there like nothing. He would try it again, I never let him get to that point because something just started to feel like, I'm still a kid. I can't remember my age, but I know that I was very, very, very young. Well, one day I was talking with my grandma about it, and she didn't let me know anything was wrong. She just asked me a lot of questions. And she asked me, what else does he do with you guys, while I'm at work? And I told her about the Barbie dolls. And I saw her face change, but still she didn't let us know anything. Well, after that, I talked to her about getting the beers out the refrigerator because we always had some money. And I told her that he would have us put on the dresses. And later on, I found out that we were putting on the dresses and we were getting the beers from the bottom drawers in the fridge because he had his recliner positioned where he could look when we bent down up under our dresses. And I would get more money. I was the bigger one. And I would get more money to go get these beers. And he was trying to touch in between my legs. Now, this is our uncle. This is our favorite uncle. And it wasn't until later on in life, because sometimes in our homes, families are tight-knit and they like to keep secrets. It wasn't until later on that I found out that this uncle had been in jail before for rape. And my grandma, I guess, was just trying to help him out and give him a place to stay. I found out later on, too, that I believe my uncle had killed a woman before. I just wanted to talk a little bit about things that are going on right up under our noses, and we have no clue. And we're sometimes putting on rose-colored glasses, too, because in that situation, my grandmother was trying to help him out, but he should have never been around us. And we went to school the next day, and when we came home, that room that he slept in was empty. I mean, walls bleached, everything. You would have thought it was crazy. He was gone. Not a trace of him. We never saw him again. But I found out that he went to go stay with one of my grandmother's friends who had 2 sons. She didn't tell her, but he went to go stay with one of her friends. And I found out also later on that she never told my father what my uncle was doing either. My father told me that he thought it was weird that he would never look him in his eyes, and it's probably due to that. But I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about how sometimes, things are going on from the people closest to us. It's not just outsiders. And I feel like nowadays we do have to watch out for everybody, and we have to be more discerning where we're taking our children. As far as me, I don't let my children go to anyone. I am with my children 24 hours a day. I even feel something about letting our children go to school too sometimes, because these teachers are and if you're new here, this is my son, Baby Royal. He's 6 months old. He's been on my channel most of the time, but back to the topic. We need to be more careful about who we are having around our children, because sometimes things are going on that you don't even know. And it could be family, it could be friends, it could be a stranger. You never know. And until your kids are able to talk and you have taught your children things that are not to happen, things that are right, things that are wrong, and you have to have an open relationship too with your children, where your children feel comfortable coming to talk to you and tell you about what's going on. Because for me, if I wouldn't have told my grandmother what was going on, he would have just continued to try with the leg thing. And I would take his hand off, because I knew that she had taught us no one is to touch that. So we do have to talk to our kids as well, and pay attention to what is going on around us, and notice the signs. If your child starts acting weird, just pay attention to the signs and start talking to your children more, because we were fortunate enough to be saved from that situation, but there's a lot of children who aren't. And there is a comedian on Facebook who I watch, and her son decided to come out and say some things. I don't know if they are true or not. They're just allegations right now, but I wanted to talk about my situation just so that it's put out there and people can see, just in case something's happening in their homes or at their children's daycare providers and things like that. Because my grandmother did believe us, she did listen, and she did put him out. But it was probably more due to him having done those things before to another woman. And he could have done more things that we don't even know about, because sometimes families keep things secret. But I just know that for me, I paid a lot of attention to my children and the signs. And children will let you know if they don't feel comfortable around someone. They will let you know. You might take them around them and they might cry, or they might act different. They might stick to you. They don't want to be around that person, or if that person's coming over, their mood just changes. You know, you have to pay attention to the signs that you see. For me, I'm very cautious about who I do have around. I'm just more cautious about who I do have around my children. But I just wanted to come on and talk about that, because sometimes it is going on in our homes and you don't even know it. And that is very detrimental to your child and to yourself. Because if that does happen, and it's like, man, I could have did this to prevent that. Or, you know, if I wouldn't have had this person around, this wouldn't have happened, and things like that. So it's just more of looking out for the signs. Because my uncle, yeah, he was our favorite. He was our favorite. We didn't have a clue, you know, until he started doing certain things. And it's like, okay, Andrea, he's not supposed to be doing that. Like, coming to the table and rubbing our dolls together, and like, that was weird. It's very weird. And this is a grown man. I can't really remember how old he was, but he was an old man. And sometimes old men are just perverts. Just perverts. It's like, what are you doing? You know? But he was a pervert. He was a pervert. That's exactly what he was. He was a pervert. And he preyed on small children who he thought were, you know, just oblivious to what's going on, you know. But if we don't teach our children the things to look for, and have an open relationship with our children where we feel comfortable and they feel comfortable talking to us, then things can be happening right up under your noses and you don't even know. And that's all really that I wanted to come on and share today, was just to pay attention to everything. Just pay attention to everything and keep your eyes open, because there are so many stories I've seen where even babies, there's people out there who prey on babies and touch babies. And for me and you, it might be, you know, the weirdest thing ever, horrible, disgusting. But for some people, that's what they like. There are some people out there who like to watch the little girls that they put in the pageants, because they're in makeup and they're in those little dresses and